Once Human just dropped some new patch notes. We'll go over all the details with the recent patches as well as all the changes there. Some stealth changes that weren't noted in these patch notes that I've come across in-game. Additionally, we got some brand new Twitch drops that'll cover, as well as some notable things from the community. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Okay, so jumping right into it, let's get into the patch notes. I'm going to summarize some of the last week's patch notes, as those have just been recently dropped. So for the last week or so, we finally got the patch notes for all those updates. For August 17th through the 19th, we saw fixes including correcting item descriptions, visual and interaction issues. There was some crafting bugs, leaderboard data, and they even optimized UI elements like seasonal registration and wish machine tips. From August 20 to the 26th, we saw various bug fixes, including resolution issues with abnormal game mechanics, some crash fixes there as well. There was item interaction issues, server access, and UI errors, and they've also extended the temporary backpack duration from 7 to 30 days. Now, we also got the patches for August 29th as well as the 30th. Again, we did have that opening statement, but it's just the resolving issues and enhancing the gameplay accordingly. For August 29th, we saw some gear customization mod filters that fixed an issue where players couldn't filter certain mods on gear customization screens. There was an issue with the novice survey where Starcrom was rewarded, but you weren't able to claim that, which you should now be able to do so. They addressed a very rare issue, but it was affecting the Ravenous Hunter scenario. They don't exactly note what that rare issue was. Furniture interactions have now been fixed where players couldn't interact with storage stats furniture like the cabinet, so that should be adjusted. Now you should be able to obtain those items from there or place those in there. Another more notable change here is that fragments of memory were bugged. Players could use fragments of memory to receive duplicate medic specializations and create associated buildings. So you're able to double up on that as of now, but that has now been changed and fixed. And essentially whatever those substats were for the pneumatic specializations, those were able to be combined. So if something was 50% and you had a pneumatic specialization or a fragment that was 50%, you could place those together and get 100%. At least that's what I'm getting from this, and that's what I assume was happening. Now for August 30th, they actually do have a headliner here. So it's what's with the Frosty Blasting mod's delayed HP recovery. Essentially, the number of Frost Vortex traps didn't have an upper limit, and Icy Rain couldn't replace existing vortexes to trigger the mod's HP recovery effect by generating new ones. Players had to wait 4 seconds for the Frost Vortexes to disappear before they could recover HP. However, now the mod should work as intended, and you should have a ton of HP recovery there. Kind of buffs Icy Rain a bit there in any Frost Vortex build. Although seemingly, even with hard servers, PvE isn't really that difficult, and I don't see this doing very well in PvP either, just because of the inaccuracy of Icy Rain so far. I tried to make that build work. It just is really struggling in PvP right now. And to be honest, the DPS in PvE also struggles. Even with a full set of shelter gear that I tried to make work, it really does struggle, especially when you could just slap on Wildfire, Jaws, or any of the other weapons and have a few decent mods. You really don't even need a full set of gear, and it already is stronger than, at least in my opinion, than Icy Rain. Especially for the amount of commitment that you have to make that build work. I do hope we see buffs with that weapon there. They also ensured that weapon stats and effects will not be adjusted without prior notice. So they're not going to do that anymore or change how weapons work prior to a patch note or prior to releasing a patch. And players can report any weapon issues they have for investigation. Players on the Manibus Novice servers had a bug where they could duplicate or claim the seasonal reward twice. It was only 72 players in total though, and the duplicate Starcroms will be removed from the affected players. They also had a nice little buff here. Deviation refresh time got shortened in the wilderness. So essentially deviations will spawn sooner and at more rapid pace. Although I think mostly this pertains to the bee. It seems like all hard PvE servers had the bee not spawning. I'm not sure if there was the same thing on PvP side, if any of the wilderness stuff wasn't spawning. However, for sure, the bee was not respawning. People were sitting at spawns for 10, 12 plus hours, and they never saw a bee. People were charging 500,000 EL and even more plus for a bee deviation on PvE hard mode servers. They were going for crazy amounts because people thought that the bee or the deviation got disabled. However, it looks like they brought it back, and they did fix that there. One of the stealth changes that happened with this patch. Groshroom in the Eternal End wasn't functioning properly. That has now been fixed. They corrected an issue where the Greywater Bridge didn't align or sink into the ground. If you used Unstuck twice within 120 seconds, it actually didn't work again. That has now been fixed. Players can now disassemble excess wallpaper formulas into fragments. They also resolved a crafting issue where materials weren't selecting. Novice Seasonal Cradle also got an error fixed, and players can now retrieve stored items from friendly territories to craft items. Essentially before, even if you gave somebody permissions to craft inside your base, you actually had to place down an object and have them disassemble it or delete it. Then they had the materials in their inventory and they could place it for you. I had this issue when I was trying to get a kitchen set from somebody, as well as my furnaces or my 4 perk furnaces. And if you didn't know, you can buy or even get other players to place perked out or mimetic specialization stuff for you. So if a player has mimetic specializations or specific ones to different things, you can actually have them place down those objects, whether it be a furnace or a kitchen set, and you'll actually be able to utilize those perks there as long as you do not disassemble or delete that object. That does cover for the patch notes side of things. Jumping over, we did have a weekly Twitch drop event. This is only for 1 week, as it says it's a weekly Twitch drop. This is going to start from September 2nd, 10 a.m. PST, which would be 12 p.m. CST or 1 p.m. EST, and that will end on September 8th at 11:59 p.m. PST. You can watch any stream in the Once Human category on Twitch, all the way up to 4 hours to earn all the rewards showcased in this imagery, which is 100 Stardust Source, a 3-day Meta Pass trial voucher, 150 acid, and a butterfly emissary crate ×2. It's currently not showing up on the Twitch drop section of the website, but they typically do post them a day or so early, and I would assume that obviously these are 1 hour each. It's only going to take you 2 hours to get that 3-day voucher or that Meta Pass. Seems like the most valuable thing there. Jumping over, we do have some stuff from the community. First up here, we had a really cool post. Somebody printed, or their friend 3D printed them, a Digby boy. Really cool overall. I really wanted to do this. I might have to look around to see if I can actually 3D print one. As I've said in my finals videos and other videos, I do have a 3D printer. I've actually been utilizing it a lot quite recently, so I'm definitely getting back into that, and eventually I might print some stuff or even do giveaways there, physical item giveaways. I've always said I wanted to do that, but I have to structure that out a little bit. Still really cool, and maybe if I do 3D print anything with Once Human or any of the other games I cover, I will showcase that on the channel. If that's something you guys would be interested in, please let me know. Also, another community post here, we do have a concern that's of recent. This person says here that there are no normal PvE servers that you can sign up for or join. So there were a lot on the initial launch. There was a lot of like normal PvE servers. However, as of recently, they haven't been dropping normal PvE servers because the requests for hard mode servers have been so high. It seems like a lot of the normal mode servers did fill up, at least from other player accounts here on the subreddit. However, they had so many normal mode servers compared to hard mode. It seems like they kind of flipped there once they saw hard mode servers immediately filling up, as mine was locked within like the first day or so. Although, as someone pointed out here, the difference between PvE normal and PvP hard is minimal. There's no real one-shot mobs or anything like that. It just makes you have a little bit faster food consumption. Although, as the original poster of this Reddit thread, they pointed out they're not a hardcore pro player, or they just want to enjoy the game, have some casual fun there. Definitely understandable there, especially since they kind of pitched the normal mode servers. Surprised they're not dropping at least one for new join sessions. I'm sure with some community feedback there, they will change up on this. But someone pointed out here, those are probably going to be on rotation. And some servers today are hitting phase 6, as well as my server hitting phase 3 of the new scenarios. So as the phases go along, I do believe we are going to get rotations there. Overall, it should about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.